Welcome back, everyone. This is going to be a favorite interview, I can tell you right now. It has to do with dance, and it has to do with a ballet company right here in Queensbury, and it has to do with an upcoming performance of classic ballet, Swan. Lake. We're at the Adirondack Ballet Theater, and the director, Diane Labruzzo, who we usually talk to, is standing back behind the camera there. That's Miss Diane to you, right?
Yeah.
Oh boy, do you like her?
Yeah.
Yeah. Diane, you're in. They like you. Joining me today, let me introduce my guests. Allie Harris. Welcome, Allie. Very nice to have you here. And Rachel Deck. Welcome, Rachel.
Thank you.
I got to go into the memory banks a little bit on Swan Lake here. Rumor has it that the reason you're here is because you're playing the role of the two swans. Is that correct?
I'm the black swan.
You're,
Yes.
ooh. Right. Well, that's quite a story, right?
Yeah.
There, isn't it? Yeah, I know what you mean. And you're the white swan.
I am not the white swan, I play the raven.
Yes.
She's
ooh.
kind of like a mischievous character. She kind of like, plays both sides kind of. She like starts the drama, so.
Quite flirtatious, as I
Yeah.
recall, too, by
Yeah.
the way, right? And what we're talking about there is that if you know the story of Swan Lake, is a prince who is supposed to be married. I gotta try to cut to the quick on this one. Supposed to be married, whatever, and he doesn't really like any of the maidens, but he does fall in love with one of the swans. And the swans are under a spell, and they're swans during the day and princesses at
Yeah.
night?
Yes.
Oh, okay, all right. Well, that's pretty impressive, right? We got the whole story laid out right
Oh,
there.
yeah.
You know what? I want our viewers to know a little bit more about you. You've been dancing since when?
I started dancing when I was 2, so about 15 years now.
Oh my God,
Yeah.
that's unbelievable. So if you do the math, you're 17.
Yes.
Good, gotcha. How about you?
I've been dancing since I was 5.
Right.
So,
You know, it's so typical of a lot of dancers. They get involved very, very early on. Now, 2 is seriously early.
Yeah.
So your mom probably had something to do with that, right? Yeah, I've got it. How about you?
I mean, yeah, my mom also had something to do with it, but I've also been like, I tried to do like other sports when I was younger, but I wasn't really interested in them like as much as dance. I don't really know what like brought me in so much, but I just never really felt a connection.
You know, 2 questions then I'd love to ask you is why were you attracted to it? After you know, obviously 2 is very young, Allie, right? But as you got to be 3, 4, 5 years old, what did you like about it?
I just like the creativity and that you're kind of free to let go and express yourself. Definitely is a big factor.
Yeah, for sure. How about you, Ray?
I mean, I definitely like connect with the music a lot, and I just love dancing. Like, kind of forget where you are. So.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Tell me about that. How do you forget where you are?
I mean, like, you just get so caught up in like the movements and the music, and then you're just focusing on like whatever you're doing. You're not focusing on what's around you.
That's right. You get lost in the world, the world of
Definitely.
ballet,
Yeah.
in the world of theater, in the world of fantasy. Of course, the music to Swan Lake is by Tchaikovsky. And the reason I mention that, of course, is that you talk about those absolutely wonderful symphonies and that music. That's music to get lost in,
Yeah.
right? You know, does it affect, now when you're listening to the music, does it affect the way that you interpret the movement?
I would say so, yeah.
Yeah.
Because there's certain things like if it's more of like an abrupt song per se, like you might dance more sharply and do not as graceful maybe.
Yeah, got it, sure.
You do different type things.
Yeah, you want to almost approach it more athletically because you have a pacing that you're trying to stay with, and that does require crisper, if that's a word, movements, right? But yet the other times when the strings are flourishing and whatever, you can really just get lost.
Yeah.
You dreamlike,
You really
right?
you're just like with the music, like you're dancing with it.
I've got it. Okay. Now, the presentation is coming up on March 23rd and 24th,
Yes.
right? Kind of typical for Adirondack Valley Theater. They do a matinee and an evening performance on the Saturday, which is the 23rd. And then the 24th, they do a matinee, always at the Wood Theater, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, good. Okay. So it's at the Charles R. Wood Theater. And these performances are very important because it's fundraising, but it's also showing support and community for showing support for the arts, which is a very viable part of the community. It's something I talk a lot about, you know. Just a little bit of a sidetrack, and I don't mean to ambush you with this question, but I'd love to know how you feel about the arts. Do you like being part of the arts?
Definitely. I think
Yeah.
it's really important to learn at a young age because that's how you learn to be creative and use your mind freely a lot.
Yeah.
How about yourself?
I agree with that. Like, I think it plays a big role in like finding who you are. Like I'm involved in like other stuff than just dance that involves the arts, so I definitely think it's like a big factor in like figuring out what you want to do and like who you are.
Well, is that true? You know, Rachel, just to chase that for a second, people will tell me frequently who are involved with the arts is that it carries through to every other phase of their life. That the things that you learn about movement, the things that you learn about interpreting music, the way you learn to relate to an audience helps you when you do math.
Yeah.
Isn't that strange? But it's really true because you're honing your mind to think in certain ways and act in certain ways.
Yeah.
What do you like about Swan Lake?
Swan Lake, it's definitely more of a mature ballet, which I like, and the characters are a little more challenging, so it's kind of fun to challenge yourself and get into that. Yeah.
Well, that's an important point, and important in the role that you are with the Black Swan. You've got a little bit of
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Exactly.
And how about you?
I mean, I definitely think it's cool to like explore new roles than like we had before. Like it's one of the classical ballets, so it's like more traditional, and like, but we also get to bring in like the children so they can like see like what kind of stuff we do as like older dancers. So,
Well, you know, a ballet like, I'm glad you brought that point up because a ballet like Swan Lake, and this is an interpretation of it. So there's a room has been built in for all of the little animals in the forest and whatever. So the young ones,
yeah.
right? It's hard when I say to you, the young ones, right? Because you're very young to me. But the whole idea is that the 3-year-olds and the 5-year-olds who are first becoming exposed to this, they have a role to play.
Yes.
In this. Do you like that nurturing aspect of
Definitely.
the little ones?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
do.
I feel like we can really connect with them. Like, I don't know. I just think it's cool, like to connect with them. And I don't want them to see us as like scary or like old or.
Yeah.
Yes, right.
I think that's really nice. Yeah.
Andrew might have something to say about old and scary here, right, Andrew? I just checking. The performances themselves, we've got Saturday, again, it's 2 o'clock, I think, is that
It's 1
right?
o'clock.
1 o'clock, and 1 o'clock on Sunday as well?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so at the Charles R. Wood Theater, we've got 1 o'clock on Saturday and Sunday, and then Saturday evening. This is a wonderful opportunity to bring a family in, right?
Definitely.
You never really, these experiences that you have from the time that you've been involved, they stay with you your whole life. And there's a real connection between what you're doing on the stage and the audience. And so bring your family, bring your young ones, let them see what it's like. They'll learn and they'll be able to say, hey, maybe that's for me. Maybe I should get involved in that, right? And here's living proof that, you stay with it, 12 years for you, 15 years for you.
Yeah.
One last question for you. Do you think you'll take it with you beyond high school, I guess, right?
I would like to dance in college and possibly continue teaching, because I teach as well, but I don't think I'd pursue it professionally just because of the dedication. It's a lot.
Oh boy,
Yeah.
that's a whole other conversation, right?
Yeah.
I get the sense from you, because you are interested in athletics and gymnastics and things, that you'll take part of this with you, but wander off into do other things as well, right?
Yeah, definitely. Like, I definitely want to do it in college, but I don't think I'm going to be a professional.
Right. Well, you know what they say, it's like musicians, I still, at my tender young age, pick up the guitar like every day, and I learned to play the guitar when I was 5 years old. So, it does stay with you,
Yeah.
and it's wonderful. All right, you have an exceptional chance to see these two beautiful young dancers in a wonderful ballet, Swan Lake, classic Tchaikovsky music, and I know the Adirondack Ballet Theater. We've followed them for many, many years, and the performances are wonderful. So you really only have 3 chances. That's Saturday the 23rd, Sunday the 24th, 1 p.m. and 7 p.m.?
6 p.m.
6 p.m. See, the details for me are never right. I never get the details right on anything. Okay, 1 p.m., 6 p.m. on Saturday the 23rd, and 1 p.m. on Sunday. Well, it's a real pleasure to meet both of you.
Thank
you. Thank you for
A
having
wonderful conversation. Thanks for taking the time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. See this interview again. You can head to our website, looktvonline.com.